Color of Chaos, Behind the Music. Playing to sell-out crowds across the U.S., this band rocketed to stardom in 2008 with their single, Greenwich Blues.
They're my favorite pop-punk band.
The band formed in 2006 in the dormitories of NYU and immediately got to work on their first EP. Singer and bassist Roman Harris, a product of the American Dream from San Diego, leads the trio with his deep bass riffs and raw, honest vocals.
I mean, we never saw this coming. I didn't know if our backgrounds would get in the way of us being accepted in the punk scene, but it just worked.
Roman paired up with the edgy female guitarist Chris Lee, breaking the mold of the white male punk rocker. Chris, a Manhattan native, grew up with punk in her genes. Her father was an aspiring punk rocker in the 70s, playing across the U.S., but never making it big.
Yeah, me and my dad, we used to practice every Saturday morning. It was so much fun. He taught me how to play guitar. It'd drive my mom crazy though. But why did she marry a rocker then?
Color of Chaos was set to be a major creative force, but Roman and Chris were missing something. Drummer Dean Parker joined up with Roman and Chris in their sophomore year of NYU, bringing the influence of Chicago Americana and a reckless, fun-loving attitude.
Me? Oh, hell, I just did it for the chicks. But I think we got something really special here. Don't you agree?
None of the band members came from a traditional punk background, growing up in relatively white-collar families and attending a prestigious private university. But after earning a name in the New York City underground scene, their loyal following grew, and the band never looked back. A band with such a unique sound, Color of Chaos draws influence from a diverse range of British and American rock and punk bands.
Oh, where do I even begin? My dad showed me the Sex Pistols, the Who, the Ramones, the Rolling Stones. Right now I'm really into Kings of Leon.
Really into bands like Rise Against, hard modern rock.
I mean, I don't know, honestly. It's pretty weird. Chris is pretty into older rock. Dean's more into harder modern rock, and I kind of fall somewhere in the middle. I mean, bands like the Rolling Stones, the way they incorporated blues into rock and roll, and modern bands like the Foo Fighters and the White Stripes completely changed the game for me.
Manager Jackie Johnson picked up the trio after seeing a show at the Mercury Lounge in downtown Manhattan.
I saw them and I just knew. They were going to be the poster children of the next punk movement. It made no sense, really. You got this rich white kid, a Midwestern jock, and an Asian chick. They're the furthest you can get from the stereotypical punk band. But they made it work.
After Johnson teamed up with the band, they began quick work on a full-length album and played as a supporting act around the U.S., opening for punk, pop, and rock bands from Cold War Kids to Taking Back Sunday. This quickly led to their first U.S. tour as a headliner, playing mid-sized venues from New York City's Webster Hall to the Wiltern in Los Angeles.
I've never seen a band work a crowd like that before.
Huge success came in the blink of the eye for this band, but it couldn't last forever. After multiple successful American tours, it was the obvious choice for the band to go overseas. However, no one could have predicted what would follow. The band set their sights on the UK as the spot for their first international tour.
We thought England and the UK would be the perfect place for our first tour abroad. Deep music history, and we thought it would be similar enough to the US, but we were wrong.
After arriving in England, the band wasted no time establishing themselves in London's posh party scene. Not very punk rock. Members of the band were spotted by fans and paparazzi at some of London's most expensive and exclusive nightclubs with celebrities and socialites, like Kate Moss, Prince Harry, Pixie Lott, even David Beckham. In addition to this major punk faux pas, the band made the mistake of aggressively marketing themselves and their tour in London and all around the UK, appearing on major television and radio programs, as well as bombarding the fans with advertisements. The flop went from bad to worse when the tour officially began. Color of Chaos took the stage at London's massive, corporate O2 Arena, and the drunken drummer Dean Parker made the foolish comment, "I don't think you're ready for us, London." This was met with an extremely negative response, and the show spiraled downhill, forcing the band to take an early exit.
I mean, it was completely out of control. After that first week in London, the paparazzi wouldn't leave us alone. We got death threats, letters from fans, videos of fans burning our merchandise. It was really ridiculous.
Chris, what do you have to say? Chris.
They were kicked out of the underground and labeled as a sellout. They tried to play the rest of the tour lineup, but each show was met with even more chaos, and the band went home with a heavy heart and a dire necessity to recognize a unique international audience.
We thought our American success would translate to the UK, but it just didn't. It's a different place, they're different people, and we just didn't recognize that at first.
When we got back to New York, we had an emergency meeting. We had to figure out what the heck went wrong. The first thing, of course, we looked at was the band's conduct. They acted completely out of line. They were kids, they had no idea what they were doing.
We needed to figure out a way to make it up to our fans.